is impossible. So as such, we believe the Holy Quran has been fully supported to as much as the possibilities exist. And when they do, then the verdict of God is enough for us. That shows that God did not have to break His own law to create such a miraculous birth. He activated some hidden tails of laws which are seldom activated, but they do sometimes surface here and there and do operate in human experience as well as in largely in animal experience. So I think something like that must have happened with Jesus Christ. Only recently I had a study, because I am writing a small booklet on the issue of rationality in Christianity, or study of Christianity from purely rational point of view, and it's almost completed. There I have added the opinion of the modern scientist, the latest scientist in England on this issue. We sought some opinion and they led us to some other books, and a small para has been added, which is very technical, of course, full of medical jargon, but you can understand and many other allopathic doctors can understand. What is attempted to be proved is that it cannot be ruled out as impossible. Thank you.
Thank you. My second question, may I remind you, if Jesus Christ ever drank wine or ate pork? If Jesus Christ or Hadhrat Isa Islam ever drank wine or ate pork?
You see, why do you give importance to this question?
Because
I don't see any reason why.
There was some discussion yesterday and there was controversial issue. Some said he didn't, some said he did.
That's no, the question is, why do you give importance to this question? What is the background?
Because we see...
Suppose he did. What is the objection?
No, I just wanted to know this.
Have you ever read any instruction in the Old Testament prohibiting wine?
No, sir.
So then why shouldn't he, if he ever did? It's a question of his personal options and choices, of course, but from the religious point of view, he admits that he has come to fulfill and perfect the teachings of the Torah. So he remains within the four walls of Torah teaching. So as such, if he drank wine, that was not a crime. What is a crime? A crime is only a violation of God's instruction. So if an instruction was never given, and we find no evidence of such an instruction having ever been given to the Judaic people, then if Jesus belonging to that law, the book of law, drank wine sparingly, there is no harm whatsoever. If he did not, it was because of his personal, perhaps, dislike, and he might not have felt any harm in occasional sip because religion permitted him. The religion permitted him. Right?
Thank you, I am satisfied, sir.
Thank you.
I have two questions with a single thrust. I'd like to inquire, as all the world was involved or implicated in the Gulf, can this class as a Third World War, or is Bosnia likely to lead to a bigger situation involving NATO and UN and the Sino-Rusky Pact? And what further prophecies remain to be fulfilled, which will be fulfilled before the end of the world?
Before?
Before the end of the world.
Right. As far as the Bosnian situation is concerned, the message is obvious. The similarities between the two situations have to be analyzed first. Is that right or not, that in the case of the Gulf War, the excuse which was taken to justify the interference by the entire world was simply this, that a big powerful country had attack a small country, neighbor country, and try to change geography by force. Is that right or wrong?
That's correct.
Now the question is, does exactly the same situation apply to the Bosnian salient or not?
It appears so.
It does.
Yes, sir.
And whenever such question comes up during the discussions with the leadership, they intentionally avoid this and try to confuse the public opinion, which cannot be confused unless it is criminally involved and wants to be confused. That this is a civil war. How can you call it a civil war? When prior to the invasion of Bosnia by Serbs, America, Britain and many other European powers, if not all, had admitted Bosnia to the world community and world forum as an independent nation. They had accepted their right to be independent, and they accepted their political entity as a sovereign state. Is that right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
So how could you call a war, an invasion of an independent state as a civil war? Impossible. I mean, these people should, their language, they should know English. They know English, but they are dishonest. So they are misapplying a term which does not apply to the situation. It's simply an invasion, and I remember one American politician was questioned by some British journalist, and he said, are you not reminded by the same situation which occurred in Iraq, in relation to Iraq's invasion of Kuwait? So he said, yes, but there is a difference. There's a bigger, powerful country invaded a smaller neighbor. Here we are dealing with a civil war. Now, the dishonesty of the media was made apparent when the moderator accepted it. Yes, it's a wise answer, well understandable answer. It is not. Now, they are constantly avoiding the main issue and try to mislead the public opinion into some of the areas of imaginary threats to world peace, etc. And they say, one thing has emerged very clearly now, the thing which I used to say and said in one of my sermons, but at that time nobody supported me. I said they have put an embargo not to save Bosnia but to destroy Bosnia. They have put an embargo against Bosnia, not against the Serbs. Now they have started admitting it shamefacedly in so many words, repeatedly. In almost every television program you see, yes, this is an embargo on Bosnia. What is the sense? When they are questioned, what do you mean? A poor, armless people who are in such a short minority as well, untrained, without arms, without bullets, they are being invaded by a much more powerful enemy, and which is fully armed and equipped in the most modern weapons of modern warfare. And you are denying a small country the right to defend themselves by imposing the embargo. The answer, you might have heard, is generally to the effect that, you see, this will prolong the agony. This will complicate the issues. This will prolong the war. What do they mean by prolong the war? That means that will prolong the process of extermination of Bosnia. No more than that. So we are dealing with a totally immoral world. Politics was immoral, of course, has always been immoral. But when there is a threat to the political thinking of one area of the world by the political thinking of another area of the world, then politics tries to acquire a measure of morality. Just to show the world that, you see, we are fighting the right and just cause. But